If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, then you know that in addition to being a 20+ year learning and development professional, adjunct professor, author, and leader, I am also a former elected official, having served as a council person for 15.5 years in 2 different municipalities and under 5 different mayors. I was council president for 5 of those years. I have said it in the past, and I'll say it again today: politics is in everything. My name is JMEarley. I help individuals and teams achieve organizational and personal success, and this is Leadership Matters. Today we're talking about office politics. Even though I was in politics, I'm not a fan of politics, as what we see on display more often than not is the negative aspects of it. I'm an advocate, not a politician. I use my influence and power to help individuals who don't feel that they have the opportunity or ability to use their voice, folks that are discouraged, disengaged, and disenfranchised, those that don't know how or can't defend their rights. For the most part, politics leaves a bad taste in your mouth. There's a negative connotation surrounding it, and while most of us don't have the stomach for it or believe that we don't engage in it, politics is everywhere and in everything, so you really can't avoid it. It's in your sorority and fraternity, church, school, neighborhood, nonprofit, and philanthropic organization, board, and job. You see, politics is about influence and power, and the relationships formed around these two dynamics. Wikipedia defines politics as the set of activities that are associated with making decisions in groups or the forms of power relationships among individuals, such as the distribution of resources or status. Politics are inescapable. Despite the way that you or I feel about them, we need to know how to operate within the political environments that we hold space. If you're finding this video valuable, please hit the like button and the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content. Okay, back to our video. Niven Pasma, author of the Harvard Business Review article, "You Can't Sit Out Politics," states that taking a head in the sand approach to office politics led him to faltering and missing out on many opportunities throughout his career. He asserts that the first step to effectively navigating organizational politics is to understand the myths surrounding it. Myth number 1, you can either be a good person or you can play politics. When asked to describe politics, most people use words such as toxic, frustrating, dangerous, demotivating, draining, unfair, unnecessary, cliques, and even gossip. The fact that these are the words we associate with office politics explains why this first myth is so prevalent. How could we knowingly engage in things that are seen as toxic and dangerous, or at the very least unethical and unpleasant, if we are not ourselves toxic, dangerous, unethical, and unpleasant? This myth is premised on an incomplete and one-sided understanding of what office politics really are. Though office politics can be used both ethically and unethically, at their core, they are just the range of informal, unofficial, and sometimes behind-the-scenes efforts that happen in all organizations as people position themselves, their interests, their teams, and their priorities to get things done. For example, let's say you have a big meeting coming up where stakeholders at your company are going to decide which projects to invest in, including yours. If you're savvy at politics, you know that to get your project approved, you first need to understand the priorities and perspective of those stakeholders. You need to engage with them beforehand and learn what they're looking for so that you can more persuasively present your idea. This is an example of how office politics can be ethically used to help you gain an advantage. Nevertheless, destructive and negative politics also can and do exist. In the same situation, if you were to spread a rumor about the lack of data or buy in behind your colleague's project in order to get yours chosen over theirs, that would be an unethical use of politics. Myth number 2, you can escape office politics. Lee G. Bowman and Terrence E. Deal's research in their book, Reframing Organizations, hits the nail on the head when it states the question is not whether organizations will have politics, but rather what kind of politics they will have. As human beings, we are social creatures, and the use of relationships, informal, influence, and power plays its part on how we engage, for better or for worse. Myth number 3, politics don't affect your job performance or career. We need to speak about our work, and we need other people to speak about it too. However, speaking about our work doesn't mean reciting a laundry list or litany of things that we are doing. Instead, it's about framing what we're doing in terms of the impact it's having on the organization and why it matters. There are many thoughts on the issue of self-promotion. Many people believe that your talent and hard work should be able to speak for themselves. This notion might come from the formative years that we spent in school. When we were at school, it was generally a given that if we work hard and master the subject material, we'd get good marks and proceed to the next level. In the workplace, though, thinking like this can be a risk and a mistake, because the reality at work is that invisible contributions have no value. Myth number 4, politics don't exist in online environments. In the absence of in-person interactions, surely all the power play and informal maneuvering tactics deployed in the office disappear. Wrong. Anyone who has shifted to remote work during the pandemic knows that this is not the case. Anytime you take something offline, socialize your idea and decisions with other people in advance of a more formal meeting, or chat with someone you think can help you to be more effective, you are in fact engaging in political activities. This is true whether you're doing these things in person or remotely. And finally, myth number 5, political intelligence is an inherited trait. With all the demands on your time and energy, should you invest time and energy in relationships, getting strategic about your supporters and sponsors, looking for ways to increase the influence and power you have, and then use all of those things to advance your career? Yes, doing so takes intentionality, focus, and practice. And it will come more naturally, secondhand even, with time. The alternative, i.e. failing to curate your network, build your brand, and all the other things that politically smart people do, is likely to result in an otherwise promising career never reaching the heights that it could, or even worse, derailing your career completely. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.